Hey there. We're new to the neighborhood, so we thought we'd swing by and introduce ourselves. I've been doing YouTube for a few years now, but I've been holding back. Like most creators, I've kept my life and YouTube separate, but I've decided it's time to be open and honest, so you can really get to know us. I suspect I'll lose some subscribers, and there's a real risk you'll think less of me, and the chances of embarrassing myself are pretty high. Opening up with your real thoughts and feelings with all the trolls on social media isn't likely to end well either. Nonetheless, it's the only way to have a real friendship with those of you who manage to stick this video out to the end. If that's not you, that's okay. I'm sure there are plenty of other channels out there that will give you exactly what you're looking for, and I wish you the best of luck. For the last 20 years, I've had a high op-tempo job in the military. I didn't get to do any of the cool guy stuff. You gotta be way more coordinated, smart, and talented than I am in order to do that. But I have been very good at what I do. However, this excellence came at a high cost for me, but an even greater one for my family. I've missed more birthdays, anniversaries, baptisms, parties, and family dinners than I've made. When I'm in uniform, people always thank me for my service, and while I do appreciate it, mostly, I've just had a great time. The ones they really should be thanking are my wife and kids. They're the ones who had to carry on for weeks and months without me. I'm really thankful for their sacrifice, which leads us to where we are today. My wife and I have weathered the storms of life pretty good, and there have been quite a few. We're no different than you, I suppose, but in addition to the joys of military life, my wife has stood by me through endless years of education, the loss of a child, worries about our finances and kids, not to mention my sometimes less than enjoyable personality flaws. I'd say we weathered it pretty well, all things considered, but we'd definitely lost something along the way. We weren't, and still aren't exactly sure what it is that we're missing, but we know we don't have it. So it was the death of my mom and watching my dad grow old that really brought the problem into focus for me. Our modern fast-paced life is intentionally trying to run us so far and so fast that we don't have time to think about what might be important in life, until the very end when we're looking back, and then it's too late. Think about it. Modern life has purposely made food that tastes good, really isn't that good for us, but is super easy to eat on the run. Our transportation gets us to where we need to be without any meaningful interactions. If you have a free moment, there's endless social media and entertainment to fill up every second, all without really forming any human connections. Modern life tricks us into packing so many activities into our family that we never get to just enjoy the time together. Endless consumerism makes sure we never run out of things to buy and never have enough money, so we have to stay on the treadmill as long as possible. Even more craftily, modern life traps us in an echo chamber where we never have real conversations, never look at the other side, or even agree to disagree with friends anyways. We just stick with our own tribe and call it good. After many long talks between my wife and I, we decided to escape modern life's evil plan. Thanks to my military retirement, I've got a second chance that almost nobody gets. At age 50, I get a complete do-over on life. I can really do anything I want. Most people just get another job and continue on the treadmill of life. We decided to be different. Our goal is to do a hard reset. We want to simplify, refocus, and spend our next 20 years focusing on the important things of life. I've already got plenty of regrets to look back on, but we're going to do our best to ensure that we don't create too many more in the next 2 decades. That leads us to the homestead. I'm not strong enough to avoid all the traps of modern life if I stay in my current life or spend every day at a job. We needed to be forcibly separated from our old lives. We needed to be close to nature, who has no forgiveness, only concrete reality. My wife and I also needed a common goal to work together, so life can't cause us to grow apart. And finally, I needed constant challenges. Without something new and different every day, the siren song of my old life would be just too strong. And before I knew it, I'd be working nights and weekends again, missing the most important things in life. So, we sold our house and have pretty much sunk every penny we own into 6 acres in southeast Alaska. It's become pretty evident that we may have bitten off more than we can chew. The summertime vacation Alaska is much different than the Alaska we moved to. Honestly, we don't have a lot of financial resources left. I've been watching the bank account shrink daily, and we've got a long way to go before my wife gets even a modest house. We purposely don't have a plan B because we wanted to force ourselves to figure it out. The lack of money has forced us to simplify and be creative, and nature has certainly lived up to her end of the bargain, providing almost daily doses of struggle and reality. For a guy raised in the desert, days and days of rain has affected me much more than I anticipated. I'll always need a purpose when I wake up in the morning, but due to finances, I'm not sure I can resist the temptation to get a job, which would take me right back to where we started and definitely destroy the dream. So one of our goals is to harvest about 80% of the food we eat. But the salmon are gone till next summer. I don't yet have resident hunting privileges, and our property is an old gravel pit, so the soil's terrible. Once it gets warm enough to garden, I'm not sure it's going to do well at all. We don't yet have a wood stove for our temporary cabin, and even if we did, I didn't get any wood put up to dry until it was entirely too late in the season. About the time we needed to leave, several of our family members were having real struggles. That made it super hard to say goodbye. Couple that with trying to integrate into a new community, and the challenges can seem almost insurmountable at times. We completely underestimated the difficulty of the journey we started, but we sure are glad to have you along. We're sorry that video doesn't do Alaska or our experiences justice. You can't taste the salt in the air, or how heavenly fresh-caught salmon is. Not being able to smell the smoky campfire, fresh-cut cedar, or the earthy aroma of an old-growth forest must be torture. We hope that someday you'll be able to feel the fog on your face, the smooth river rocks under your feet, and the texture of fresh-cut lumber that will be used to make a home. For now, video will have to do, but it makes us a little sad that you're missing out on the best parts. I'll be releasing 2 types of content for the next year. Thursdays will be my normal, honest, upbeat videos chronicling our adventures together. If you want a little deeper dive into what trying to change your life from the ground up is really like, my Monday videos will be a more raw look at how this new life has affected us and the changes we are seeing in our lives. I'd love to tell you that our story ends happily ever after, but the next chapter hasn't been written. Given the struggles I talked about, and others I haven't shared, I suspect our story will have more failures and losses than wins and happy endings. My biggest fear is squandering this second chance I've been given. Not many people get a shot at it, and it'd be terrible if I wasted the chance that most people don't get. Even though the odds are stacked in favor of modern life beating us and sending us back to the mindless treadmill, we remain committed to our original goal to reset, simplify, refocus, and spend time on the important things. Together. I've never cared for likes or subscribes because there's no connection or meaning. It's just a stat designed to enslave me to the social media beast. On the other hand, I do appreciate you coming along on our adventures, and your comments, sharing, and support may make the difference between success and failure on our grand adventure to find ourselves in the wilds of Alaska. It's been great to meet you. You can either start at the beginning of our journey or jump right in on our latest adventure.